Before I start this video, I'd like to say this first. I'm only on season 2, episode 140, so this is only what I think of her character so far. I've heard she gets better, and I've also heard that her traits don't change that much. And it's mostly her traits that makes me think that she's a horrible character. Most people come at me like, well, she's not useless, she's the navigator, she's important, she's smart, she's beautiful, and all that stuff. I'm not saying she's useless. I'm not saying she's not important. I know she's important because she's a navigator. And I'm not saying she ain't pretty or anything. I'm just saying that to me, she is a horrible character. And to me, it's her character traits that outweigh the good that makes me think that she's horrible. And these are my reasons why. Any female character that uses the kick in the balls cliche automatically starts getting hate from me from the get-go. She does tend to get a little bossy. I know that she's a navigator and she knows her way around the sea more than the crew, but there should be like a limit to her bossiness. And especially when they're not at sea, she tends to just boss them around like she's the captain. She's the navigator, she should know her place. She quite often abuses the crew, which usually are the male members, for whatever reason, all in the sake of humor. You know the old overused, tired cliche of the weakest member, which usually are the women, beating up the strongest members, which usually are the male, ridiculously, with one hit or two, you know. She is so greedy. Seems like she really only cares about money, treasure, all materialistic things more than anyone else around her, and seems very selfish and only caring about her needs over others. But again, this is just my opinion of what I think of her so far up to chapter 2, episode 140. Will she get better? Will she stay the same? Will I like her or continue to hate her? I'll see eventually. In her early encounter with Luffy, she barely knows the guy, but she already started coming up with a scheme to get herself out of trouble that she got herself into, apparently, by pretending that he's her boss, which throws suspicion at him, allowing her to escape without knowing or caring that if he could take care of himself or not. For all she know, she could have got Luffy killed for no reason. And by what she says here, she obviously don't know, neither care. So she'll endanger other people's lives just to save hers. Horrible job, Nami. Horrible. And then there was that one time when the crew was fighting down Krieg on that floating restaurant, the Barate, I think it's called, and she just up and steals her ship and sails on to wherever without a care. Well, it seems she did care a bit, as she was shown weeping and a bit remorseful of what she's done, and a little bit of foreshadowing of the revelation of the reason why she did what she did. And that reason was explained in the Arlong arc that followed. To be honest, I did feel sorry for her. I did empathize and sympathize and thought maybe this was a change for her. Maybe she'd get better. But all that empathy and sympathy went down the drain when she kind of reverted back to the way she was at the end of that arc. So basically, she went through all that with Arlong and his crew, and knowing the villagers had trouble saving up enough money to keep themselves alive, and she goes and robs them blind at the end. Horrible, Nami. Horrible. Yep, I totally agree with him. She hasn't changed one bit. Right after her little arc, she reverts back to her old ways. Let's talk about the time when she butted in on that conversation between Zoro and that guy about rescuing Vivi. And of course, she won't do anything without a reward. And she wasn't even asked. And she was even go as far as threatening the guy about Princess's death if he doesn't pay or whatever. And he clearly tells her that he doesn't have the authority to authorize a reward for her. But she keeps on insisting. And with that situation comes to some conclusion, guess who she sends out to do her dirty work? Yep, Zoro. She just wants a reward for doing nothing. And she even tries to blackmail him into doing it with money that he doesn't really owe her, but she claims he does, that he promised. And he explained to her that he gave her the money right back that same day because he didn't use it. The guy gave him the sword for free, so he had no reason to use the money. Of course, she just wants compensation to do anything, as if she does anything. How about the time when Luffy went through all that trouble carrying her and Sanji up that mountain to see the doctor because she was sick? Did he get a thank you? No. All he got was a lecture about how much the coat that she lent him that got damaged in the battle that he was in, and how much it cost, and she wanted compensation for it. Sheesh. And there's that time in the desert where the camera only took 2 female characters. So Vivi and Nami both wrote it. And how did Nami respond to the others? Yeah, that's how. And of course, Vivi, being a nice person she is, was the only one worried. And Nami was like, nah, they'll just follow our footprints. We don't have to wait for them. We're in the desert, they won't get lost. The sand won't wipe away our footprints or nothing. Nothing will happen. And after Luffy started hallucinating in the sand and start causing a ruckus, she somehow blackmails Zoro again with money that he doesn't owe her into staying behind and taking care of Luffy, getting him while she runs off. What I don't get is, what's the rush? Why can't she stop and help? What's the point? After they're supposed to be a team, some friends they are. She just comes up with this excuse, oh, they're strong, they can take care of themselves. That's not the point. They're not in a city where they can just regroup. They're in a freaking desert. They can easily get lost as they do. But she doesn't really care, and she just sends them off without a care in the world. As long as she's good and happy, to hell with anyone else, right? But guess who still cares and worries for them? That's right, the best girl there, my girl Vivi. And of course, Nami, she says she's exhausted and wants to take a break. Yet she was doing nothing but riding that camel all day, and had the gall to call Usopp pathetic because he's tired from walking all that distance. Isn't that something? Something horrible. Horrible Nami. I do think it was pretty cool that she wanted to take herself more seriously and help out the team by having Usopp create a weapon for her so she could fight. But I doubt that she really actually paid Usopp for the expensive materials that he needed to make her weapon. Why would she? She expects compensation, but she doesn't give any. There have also been an occasion whenever that Nami does something stupid or anything annoying that I hate, I wish that something like this had happened to her. But maybe not so brutally, maybe just a punch or a slap, kind of like how Luffy punched Vivi in that desert. Something like that. I wish that happened to her every time she opens her mouth. I know it's kind of mean, but when this scene happened, in a way I kind of wished it was real. That's kind of how I felt throughout the series towards her. I probably wouldn't even feel sad if she did die. Not that I'd be like ecstatic, but not very sad either. And to be honest, maybe not die off, but for some reason she had to leave the show. That would be cool with me. And then there was this fight between Zoro and this guy whose body is made of metal or something like that. Zoro's body is totally beat up and injured, way worse than Nami's, but he's made to carry her on his back. And do you think she cared? No. Judging by what she says here, she can't stand, so it doesn't matter that Zoro is in worse shape than She is. And according to her, being a man means you can't be hurt. And if you show any signs of it, that means you're just whining. And as a matter of fact, speaking of her inability to stand, what is it that she's doing here? Yes, Zoro, you're correct. She is standing. And as further proof of her being full of crap, immediately she was able to get off, start running, and smack Usopp, who was heavily injured from his previous battle, in the back with the weapon that he created for her. And in this situation, she really only cared about her weapon. To hell with the others. So in her selfishness, she'll even use her friends, even at the cost of their health I might add, to get what she wants, even if they are in a state worse than she is. Horrible, Nami. Freaking horrible. Okay, then there was that time where she pawned the Going Merry. It's not even hers. First she acts like the captain, and then she acts like the ship is hers to gamble away. Yeah, you sulk, Nami. You sit there and sulk, cause you're horrible. In the city of Luluka, I think the name was, Sanji was in a battle with this guy in an electrified armored suit. And, of course, he thought that Nami was worried about him when she told him to be careful. But what was it that she was worried about? This is what she was worried about. What's more important to her, her belongings. Yes, Chopper, I totally agree with you. She is the devil. As I've said before, to hell with others when her stuff is on the line. And when Chopper tried to explain to her about the risk he's taking, dangerous to his life, she just responds like, he's not normal, he can take it. Just like in the desert when she told Vivi, oh, they're strong, they can take care of themselves, let's go. She doesn't care. And when she went to rescue part of her crew that got trapped in the rainbow mist, she encountered a guy holding a kid hostage and wanted to exchange him for the boat that she came in on. But she wasn't having it. She was like, she's not kind-hearted enough to rescue a kid that she doesn't even know. Yeah, kid, I agree. She's a murderer. Well, if she had the chance to save the kid's life but choose the treasure over his life, that's just like she pulling the trigger herself. True, he may not have actually gone and killed the kid, but she still took a chance on it. Yeah, little girl, I feel ya. I understand your pain. And on the subject of rescuing Luffy before they go, guess how she responds? Of course, any surprise? Horrible, Nami. Just freaking horrible. And those are just what make me hate her so far. Because as I've said, I'm only on season 2. So I'm pretty sure there are going to be more episodes in the future that she does stuff that really makes me hate her more. But as others say, she does get better, and some say she doesn't change much. I'm not saying she's useless and unimportant and not pretty. She's a navigator. She's definitely important for the ship, and they need one. But it's just her personality, at least to me, outweighs her good side. I know it's just her character, and most of it is supposed to be played out for humor and comic relief and stuff. But to me, it's like just too played out. They do it too frequently. If they spaced it out way more than they did, I probably would like her more. They really did a good job of making her seem greedy, selfish, manipulative, bossy, traitorous, and downright horrible. Though, I'm pretty sure she will do some great things, as I've heard, in the future. It just, by this point, my opinion of her is fixated. I've had to take a break from One Piece at least twice because of her. But I decided to just continue on despite my annoyances with her. It's just that every time she opens her mouth, whatever comes out aggravates me. Whatever she says or actions, it just pisses me off. Well, anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching this video if you've gotten this far. And I know many of you probably don't agree with my opinions of her. And feel free to write it down in the comments below. And speaking of comments, and just for fun, I included this little back and forth conversation between me and this troll, all because I didn't like his favorite girl, Nami. It was on this video about Nami being one of the best female characters, and I disagreed, which started his ranting of using childish insults despite every comment that he made. Of course I threw something back at him because he doesn't really understand when I said this is what I think of her so far. But to him, he's just so into Nami that he doesn't want to listen. It's just funny that to him, Nami can't do anything wrong, and he'll defend her to the death. You know what? He's a Sanji to me. And with that said, game hard, game often, game forever. Peace.